What's up, guys? Just reacting to this election so far. Um, so there's a lot of stuff going on that's too early to look at right now. So, but looking at the projections, it's pretty interesting.
Arizona, the vote's coming in relatively quickly in Arizona. I think nearly a quarter of the vote is in Arizona.
And so you see it blue right now, not since Bill Clinton has Arizona ended the night. We're not at the end of the night, but not since Bill Clinton, with the help of Ross Perot, has Arizona gone blue. And so you look at it now.
All right. So far, like in the key states like Florida, for example, Florida is leaning towards Trump, which is not a surprise because, you know, he's been campaigning there. Michigan is a big state. Ohio is a big state. Another big state is Pennsylvania. So we shall see what's going to happen.
Again, so Donald Trump wins Arizona 4 years ago, wins Maricopa County. This is the biggest basket of votes. Phoenix and the fast-growing suburbs. 4 years later,
I think that Trump is the favorite to win just by, you know, a lot of people's, you know, analysis of him. I won't be surprised if he does win. So, we'll see. We shall see, ladies and gentlemen. But,
64, if you round that up to 35, 80% of the vote in, you go back here, 54. So by 10 percentage points, you're overperforming Hillary Clinton. Just want to see how the turnout is here. 224,000 4 years ago, already 260,000. Again, one of the gifts of this election, no matter who wins, is turnout is up everywhere. That's a good thing. We want that to happen every time. But again, you see the split right there. Joe Biden overperforming Hillary Clinton there. You got some rural areas you got to fill in the state. If you go back in time, you can see what happens.
But yeah, guys, so
but this is it. This is it. Maricopa County, Phoenix, the suburbs around it.
This is a big day.
Because of demographics and because of the suburban revolt
Uh-oh.
against the president of the
So it
United
look
States.
like Trump is up in Pennsylvania, up in Florida.
We got a ways to go there. The biggest piece of the state, Joe Biden doing what he has to do. Otherwise,
Florida's
again,
close to being,
both campaigns look at the last guy's
Trump is leading in Georgia.
2016. If you're Joe Biden, priority one, hold every Clinton state, then look for things to flip. If you can flip Arizona, you're chipping away.
North Carolina is tied. It's close in North Carolina. It's like really close. So
this is the main priority. Flip these guys back.
Ohio,
Michigan, Wisconsin.
Trump is up.
You do that. That's all you have to do if you're Joe Biden. That's all you have to do. But your backup plan, get something else, right? North Carolina is your hope. That one's getting close. If you can't get these, you go over here as well. You look at North Carolina right there. That's 1,300 votes.
Basically a tie.
That's basically a tie. Again, if you end it that way, you win. A win is a win. We got ways to go. 86%. This is why they're so much fun. Let's just come back out here and see if anything's updated. No, still at 70% here. Got to give these states credit in the challenge they face. Many of these states are reporting pretty quickly. In the challenge they face with all the different kinds of voting this year, it's a good thing to see.
So
Just want to check. I want to go back to Arizona here. I was going to check the upper Midwest, but as you see, 70% of the vote.
the battleground states that Biden is trying to win. You know, if he doesn't get some of these, then he's in trouble. So Pennsylvania, so far 23% of the vote is towards Trump, so he's leading in Pennsylvania so far. Florida, Trump is about to take Florida if Biden doesn't catch up. It's 94% of the vote. That's tallied in. Then you got Georgia.
Way more people live here. Way more people. And so you get 798,000, 77% in. Let's compare that to Secretary Clinton 4 years ago. She had 702,000.
North Carolina is a tight race.
She was at 45 with the president at 49. Joe Biden, 54%. That's game changing. If you keep that there, we're still counting in Arizona. And again, that would be a flip. If I can walk over here,
Ohio.
I just want to show you the significance of this as you come through this here. Let's come back to the president's map from 4 years ago. Again, Joe Biden, you're looking at this map. Very comfortable lead here. Coming in, that would get the president down to 290. You had a lead here. That would get the president down to 280. Then if you can pick this up here, you're at 269, 269. Everybody at home, take a gasp right now. 269, 269. It never ends up this way, but we do have scenarios where it happens. Then if you're Joe Biden, you look up here in the state of Maine, you think you're going to pick up that second congressional district. Just that. Just that, right? Michigan, Wisconsin, that's just as, I mean, they're not easy to win, so I shouldn't say just. But Michigan, Wisconsin, Arizona, and the congressional district there. There's also a congressional district in here, Nebraska and Maine. Do it by congressional district where Joe Biden is favored. So it is possible for Joe Biden to win the presidency. That's a squeaker, but that's why Arizona is so important. You're looking at this map, you're thinking, well, Trump, is he going to pull off Pennsylvania again? Joe Biden had, 5, 6, 7-point lead at the end of the race. Hillary Clinton had 3, 4-point lead at the end of the last race. But you're not sure. You're not sure about that. You think you're going to get it back, but you're not sure. You feel more comfortable about this. You feel more comfortable about that. If you can get that, that's the game. That's the game. You look at the last guy's map, you take something away. That's why Arizona matters. Also, just remember the demographics of the United States. When I started covering presidential politics, that was red. That was purple, competitive state. That was red. That was red. The changing of American demographics. I know tonight we're picking a president, 2020 and beyond, but we're also watching a changing country and how it votes. And it's fascinating. Now we'll come back to here because we're not done yet on these things. But here's where we are right now. As they start to build the building blocks up, this is where it gets interesting. 89 to 72. We're starting to fill in as we come over here. We're into the 10 o'clock hour, right? Yes, we are. I had to check the watch on that one. We're into the 10 o'clock hour, which is, this is where in presidential politics, 10, 11, up to midnight.
Yeah, California, Oregon, Washington State, they're about to close at the top of the hour. Those are big states as well.
And they're counting more votes here, too. That's why, as we get later into the night, this is why it matters more. And so let's just look at it again. Again, this is one Trump wanted to flip. Joe Biden wants to flip Arizona. Donald Trump wanted to flip Minnesota. Not happening if you look at it right now. So we don't see that yet. We'll watch them. We'll continue to watch it. Just want to keep checking in on these. Again, if you're in the Trump campaign headquarters, you're looking at Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. If you can hold those, then you hold the presidency, right? But again, we just want to remind you, you're going to see things on the map. You're going to hold for a while. But this is slow count, slower count. So we're going to see this play out. 30% of the vote in Wisconsin. You come over to Michigan. Again, some of this may come tomorrow. We'll see. They're going to do the best they can. As we get later in the night, we'll know more about that. And then you come over here to Pennsylvania. Again, very, very early in the night. You see, I just want to take a peek down here, see how we're doing in Philadelphia. Look, 1,000 votes in Philadelphia, which means nothing, which means we're just starting.
9%.
Yeah, we're just starting the night in Pennsylvania. So we need to be careful about drawing any conclusions there. So then let's look at where we do have a lot of votes, right? This is real business now. When you get to a place, 72% in Ohio, Donald Trump up, stretching that lead a little bit, 177,000 votes. The Republican governor, Mike DeWine, thought the president would squeak it out. We'll see. Got a ways to go yet, as David Chalian noted. Some early
What's
votes
up, Anime Lord? How you doing?
That's why we count to the end. And I want to come back to North Carolina, which is now red for the president. 25,000 votes ahead. This again. You're going to watch the map swing, right? Joe Biden had a big early lead in North Carolina. Democrats get optimistic.
But yeah. I'm doing good, just watching this election so far, seeing how it is. It's still early though. They're still tallying up the votes and stuff, so we'll see.
You see the swing, and we're going to see that. We're going to see some states start out blue and go back red because of the way the votes are counted. Sometimes they count the early votes first or the mail-in votes first. Today votes, election day votes later. Other states do it in a different order, and they'll swing the other way, which is
we'll see what happens. I mean, they still got to count in all the votes for some states. Some states it happened quickly, so we'll see.
Again, this one here, I'm waiting to see up to 54% right now. There are some Democrats in Virginia who are starting to get a little nervous, and they're calling the Fairfax Board of Elections and saying, "Hello, can we get the votes?" So let's see what happens. We watch that one play out and come down here, battleground Florida. Again, president's starting to inch this one out a little bit. 51 to 2.
Like Trump is about to take Florida.
94%. Again, this is Florida.
Which I'm not really surprised of because he took it last time. So he's been getting a lot of support lately.
One of the things we should make note of this, we have it earlier, is that the third-party candidates are not getting the votes they did 4 years ago.
I'll subscribe and appreciate it. Thank you.
Getting over 50%. The national vote is still right there. Let's go back to Arizona and see if we've racked it up at all. Up to 73% now. 210,000 votes ahead. Again, 54.
So we'll see. I mean, it's still early to tell. Because all the polls are closing right now. So we'll see what happens. But
and again, the city of Phoenix, the suburbs around it. If you go to Arizona,
we'll see what
10
happens.
years ago, 5 years ago, 5 weeks ago, you just know the change that's happening. This is one of the fastest changing places in America. Growing out here in the suburbs, 800,000 votes, just shy of that for Joe Biden right now. I just want to go back and look at the math. Hillary Clinton got 700,000 votes, well, 702,703 if you round up. Maricopa County 4 years ago.
So
Again, turnout
if
is up
Trump
everywhere.
wins
Joe Biden's
Florida,
already surpassed
like the biggest thing
77%
is
of the
like
vote.
these key
That's a fascinating
battleground
state.
states that
And
they're talking
fascinating. One of the
about.
questions about American politics
You
is
know,
what's changing.
North Carolina,
Does Trump
Ohio,
change?
Florida,
If
Michigan,
this finishes
Pennsylvania,
tonight,
Arizona,
If there's a few
Virginia, you
counties
know,
that have
all
these
these different
Yes, we got nothing in some of these counties here.
states.
Apache County
These are
got here.
crucial when it
Again, there's
comes
not a
to
ton of
like
votes
who's
out
going to
here,
win.
but if
So,
you just bring it up,
you know, Trump
17,000,
is
8,000.
so far
Maricopa is
up.
60% or more of the vote, depending on the turnout.
So we're
But
going
it
to
matters
see.
if it gets,
We're
if
going
it
to
gets
see.
close, it certainly matters.
So
And so that's one of the, you look at every vote counts. I don't mean to discount anybody's vote. Every vote counts, but in terms of the swing of the state, this is going to determine most of it, and you're at 77%. But to your point, when you get this
So
higher,
we shall
if it's close,
see.
you
I
get
mean,
this higher, that's when you're
personally,
looking
I
around,
think
and
Trump
that
is
has
going to
been
win
part of
in
the
the
model
end
of Donald
because,
Trump's winning,
you know,
is that in places like
there's
that, even
just
when he
a
gets
lot
big
of like
cities, not so much in
people
Arizona,
that
but in some of these other places,
like Trump.
again,
But the
look at
biggest
all
thing
the red
is
in the middle
that
of the map, right? A ton of
um
people live here, but the president
it's
runs it
like
up,
who's
gets his
going
6,000
to,
votes
you
here,
know,
gets his 14,000 votes here.
where are you from?
You go
I'm
on
from
and on and on. That's how
Maryland.
he does it.
But yeah,
Smaller counties,
like
turnout
we're
is
going
high,
to see
he
like
runs it
if he
up,
can
and
pull
so
it
far,
out, if
that's
Biden can do some upsets. But right now, I don't see any upsets right now. Except like
South Carolina
Florida,
was blue
for
early
example,
on.
I had a feeling
See
Trump was
that
going to
one
win.
back to its DNA,
So the
conservative
biggest
state there.
states right now is
Georgia,
like Pennsylvania,
not as competitive at
Michigan,
the moment. Again, 52%. So
Arizona,
again, you're in
you
this
know,
night
different
where you
places
have three
like
different
that.
kinds of
So
voting, different states, sometimes within a state,
so
different
far I'm not
counties reporting
surprised.
in different
Georgia,
order.
it looked like he's
The
up.
Democrats were
So it
hoping
looked
right
like he
here
might take
to have a
Georgia.
closer
Donald
state,
Trump
but
might take
Fulton County,
Georgia.
still, again, a third of the vote. This is it. This is by far. And so you move around these counties here. You have Cobb here. You move Fulton here. You come out here. It's very slow. 1% here. So we have this is the bulk of the vote in the state.
So
Georgia
this is
could
just
actually
like
become a lot
the
more
beginning,
competitive because
you
a lot
know.
of
Yes.
major
So we're going to
Democratic
see.
counties have not reported yet.
Right,
But
very low,
I
very
expect
low
Trump to
percentage
become
here,
in the
all around
lead
the Atlanta metro
once he
area.
wins
And again,
Florida.
these are small
Pennsylvania
votes here.
is
Still
a
eighth
big,
of the
big,
county.
big
So you look at
state.
Joe
A
Biden's
big
ahead,
state.
72% here.
So
Close
there's a
second
lot
to
of
Atlanta,
states out there
68%
that
here, and then
Biden
you
has
come
to
over here,
win,
just
and so
1%.
far
And
Trump
again,
is
you go back
winning
in
most of
time,
these
4 years
battleground
ago,
states. So
Hillary Clinton won pretty big
it might be
here. Joe
over
Biden, will do even
soon
better.
if he
A,
wins
higher
all those
turnout,
battleground
B,
states, and
suburban
look like
protection,
so
present.
far
So we have a long way to go.
he
We
is.
have a long way
So
to go. Maps can be deceptive.
we'll see.
When you have a big chunk of vote out in the Democratic area here, I just want to check down some other Democratic areas. About halfway there. Not quite though. So there's more Democratic votes to be had there.
So we'll
Over the
see.
coast here, about 70% here. So
But
some
thank you
will
guys
over,
for
but
tuning in.
there.
Um,
wait, and
you
see,
know,
that's a
if
pretty
you guys
healthy lead, but
voted,
it doesn't mean that a big city like
it's a
Atlanta,
good thing, you
growing
know.
suburbs
So
around Atlanta,
you
can
can
make
make
us a
your
pretty
voice
big
heard,
map,
and you
but those
can,
votes
you
come in,
know,
and we'll see when they come in.
Curious about Michigan.
you know, you
Specifically,
can have a
percentage of the
great
vote in
turnout
Detroit.
when it comes to
So we
like
have 30%
who's
statewide,
president
and
and
you
stuff
come
like
down
that.
here,
Control your own
and we
fate.
have less than a third,
Um,
28% there.
And guys,
For Wayne
hopefully
County
there's
on
no
any
like
election, right,
looting
too.
or
Sometimes it goes
anything
really
or
late, sometimes
riots
things
or
get a little,
anything, because you know it's not
frustrating,
necessary.
waiting for the count to
You
come in.
know,
I'll
when
just
it
use that
comes
word.
to whoever's
But
president,
147,000,
we gotta still,
13,000, 28%.
you know, live
So you
life
come up here
how
again, now you gotta
it
move up
is.
to
So
Oakland County.
we
The
gotta
suburbs here,
continue
about halfway
to
in the
live
count
our
here.
lives. We
This
still
used to
got a
be
lot of like,
reliably
you know,
Republican
we still
territory,
got a
but it's
lot
become increasingly Democratic.
to
So
do
here's
in
a
our
question
life.
for you,
So
right? Hillary
you know,
51 to 44 when you round up the president there, 52 to 44 if you round up Secretary Clinton as well. Right now, Donald Trump doing a little better. So let's see what happens there. See if Michigan, again, we're very early in the count here, but that's what you're watching. Democrats, to win Michigan, Joe Biden has to, let me move it up a little bit. Joe Biden has to run it up in Detroit and then do well in the suburbs. And again, Macomb County, we're at 35%, so don't jump to any conclusions here. But this is one of the flips, right? This is one of the flips. Barack Obama carried Macomb County twice. What we call the pivot counties. You vote twice for Barack Obama, then you flip for Donald Trump.
There you go.
That has Democrats scratching their heads. Why did we lose those voters? And who are those voters? Well, in Macomb County, they work in the auto industry, or they work in related industries like that. Blue-collar workers, people who work with their hands. This has been a problem for the Democrats. Joe Biden said he could get them back. So we'll see. We got a long way to go there, so you don't want to jump to any conclusions. But it's also important if you just pull Michigan up again, and you go back to 2016, you don't see a ton of blue here, but you come back to 2012, this is the difference, right? Can Joe Biden, can the guy who was number 2 to Barack Obama on the ticket, win back some of these areas that Barack Obama won?
I'm
when he carried these
13.
states,
I'm
many
here
of
to
them quite
learn
convincingly. You see
and
this
feel
in
good.
Romney's first
Subscribing
state,
by
going to
liking
Massachusetts,
and
now he's in
subscribing.
Utah, but this is
Oh,
where he was
okay.
born. And Barack Obama
Thank
by
you.
10 points. So the question is, can Joe Biden get those counties back? We're very early in the county of Michigan right now, a long way to go. And so again, if you're looking at the map from home, you say, if you're a Republican, you say, wow. If you're a Democrat, you say,
But yeah. So
way to go.
when it comes to the election,
And Abby.
you
Thanks,
know,
Wolf. So we need
yeah,
to
it is good.
caution our viewers out there. It's early. Whether you're rooting for Trump or you're rooting for Biden, it's early. We're still counting the votes. I don't know if this is 2016 or 2018. You might remember in 2018, things looked really bad for Democrats or uncertain early on. But then, after not just midnight struck, but a couple days, you saw that actually it had been a really great night for Democrats. On the other hand, it could be 2016 with things breaking for President Trump. We don't know. Everyone needs to just take a deep breath out.
Which is hard. Look,
Yeah.
this is a nation that is on edge, so it's understandable. But as you said, as we have been telegraphing as we've approached tonight, it could take a while, and it is bearing out. And what I'm hearing from Democrats in particular, over and over, text after text, let's just wait and see what happens up north. Let's just wait and see what happens, meaning Michigan, Wisconsin, and not as north, but more further north, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, obviously Arizona is still an unanswered question about what's going on there, but this is what happens when you have a lot of battlegrounds. And in this cycle, we had a lot of states that were on the grid in terms of competitive races where you're going to have tight competitions between President Trump and Joe Biden, and we have to wait for all the votes to come in to really know where this thing is headed. I do think that based on where we are right now, we're in the choose your own adventure part. We're in the part of the choose your own adventure where we really need the patience. We really need people to just wait until it comes in, because it's not going to be an easy, early, quick night for people. These votes are coming in little by little, and it's tight in a lot of these.
Very tight. And when the polls would say before the election that Joe Biden was up 1 or 2 points in a state, but that was within the margin of error, that meant it was a toss-up, which is what we said.
We're seeing the margin of error play out.
And we still don't know about Florida. We still don't know about Georgia. We still don't know about North Carolina. And as we have also been saying, even if you were to give those states, all of them, to President Trump, and we're not, we're still waiting for a lot of outstanding vote, it really does come up to the 3 states up north, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, and also Arizona. Those are the states that the Biden campaign has focused most on. And we still don't know what's going on.
Yeah, and one of the things that you heard a lot from the Trump folks leading up to today is that they knew their job was just to get their people out, and just to get them to the polls and ignore all of the public polling that we've all been talking about and looking at. And I do think that when you look at the Sun Belt, where we knew that there was elevated turnout, the president is still very competitive in those states, the places that he had to hold on to. Georgia, North Carolina, Florida. He had to keep those states.
Yeah, like I said before, we'll see what happens.
Is because his people
showed
up today.
That's exactly
We'll see what happens.
He needed this was a turnout election. It wasn't a persuasion election, meaning there weren't a lot of people out there going, do I vote for Joe Biden or do I vote for Donald Trump? Pretty much everybody made up their mind. The question is whether or not they were going to get out and vote. And the Trump campaign has in cooperation with the RNC.
But yeah, guys, let me know in the comment section below who you guys think is going to win, and why. So
operation, and
let me
they
know.
actually built it in recent years, modeled after Barack Obama's operation, because his was so good. That campaign's was so good when it came to data, and they've updated it more and more.
But yeah, thank you guys for checking out the stream.
That they're a little bit slower on that, but
I just want to see what's going on. So it should be interesting, but I already think that Trump is going to win.
Because they chose for a lot of they would say really good reasons not to be on the ground knocking on doors in the way that you might have seen leading up to a normal cycle because of the pandemic.
Right.
So there's no, when I talk to Democrats, everyone acknowledges that is a scenario that nobody anticipated, put them a little bit at a disadvantage, but we may see some of that play out in the places where the president was able to get his people out. Maybe he didn't change any minds, but as long as he got his people out,
I think Trump.
Their argument, their state,
I think so too.
Their theory of the case.
Yes.
Sorry, I cannot speak tonight. Is that as long as they do that, they can be competitive. And that's the big question. He had to defend his term.
So, and first of all, you have to give credit to President Trump, even when it looked a few weeks ago.
But I think we'll
this
be
thing
fine,
was
you know.
gone and out of his reach.
It's not going
He
to be the
did
end of the
work
world,
his
but,
tail off and get out
you know,
there and get out
a lot of
to
people,
those
they just
counties
like,
around
oh my
this
God,
event.
Donald Trump
Obviously,
might win
that has
again.
paid off, at the
Like,
very
it won't
least, in making
be
this race so
the end
competitive.
of the
And again,
world,
we don't
you know.
know where it's going to
But
end up. We
we'll
have
see.
no idea. We still have yet to hear from Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, and we're starting to hear from Arizona.
Yeah.
But also, I think, I just know that there are a lot of people out there who maybe paid attention only to the most Trump-hating pundits out there who were saying for weeks, if not months, that this was going to be a landslide. And, you know, as they say, you can't get high on your own supply, right?
Do they say that?
You need to be able to listen to everyone and all the pundits, left,
I
right,
feel like I'm
center,
learning
and
so
look
much
at
about
it.
so much tonight,
Well, I
James.
just think that there were some people out there who were disappointed
No, you're
because
right.
they thought this thing was going to be over when
Hey, and
when
by
He
the
has-
way, he's an incumbent president
Right.
who has inherited.
But not just that, he has remarkably enthusiastic, loyal supporters all across the
right.
country.
But again,
Right.
we're still waiting to hear.
We are.
Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, Arizona. Wolf?
All right, Jake, thank you. We love the commentary. Let's get a key race alert right now. Take a look at this. Arizona right now, 75% of the estimated vote is in. And Joe Biden has an impressive lead right now, a lead of more than 208,000 votes, 53.7% to 45%, 11 electoral votes in Arizona. More than a third of the vote is in New Hampshire right now. Biden has a 27,000 vote lead over Trump, 53.8% to 44.8%. In Minnesota, more than a third of the vote is in there, and Biden has an impressive 285,000 vote lead over Trump, 61.4% to 36.6%. In Iowa right now, 19% of the vote is in. Biden's lead is 85,000, 61% to 36.9%. We've got some more states right now. Let's take a look at these other states that are coming in. Michigan, a third of the vote is now in. Trump is ahead by some 210,000 votes, 54.7% to 43.4%.
You guys hearing it?
In Pennsylvania, almost a third of the vote is in. Trump is ahead by 179,000 votes, 53.4% to 45.2%. In Wisconsin, a third of the vote
So
is
the
in.
Democrats
It's very, very
and
close. Trump is
Republicans
ahead
are fighting
by
for
some
the Senate.
20,000
So,
votes.
we'll see.
53%. In Georgia right now, more than half of the vote is in. Trump has a pretty comfortable lead in Georgia of 348,000 votes. Right now, 55.4%. We have a projection right now. Take a look at this. CNN projects that Joe Biden will win in New Mexico right now. Take a look at that. Joe Biden wins in New Mexico. There he is, the winner in New Mexico. That's 5 electoral votes in New Mexico. So let's see where the Electoral College map stands right now. Right now, with that win in New Mexico, Biden has 94 electoral votes. Trump has 72 electoral votes. The all-important race to 270 needed to win.
All right, just let me know if you guys can hear it or not.
270 being the magic number. You're elected president if you get 270 votes. What do you see?
Well, you're seeing a map right now that's going to make Democrats nervous, and so which is why we need to emphasize the point that when you see red Pennsylvania, red Michigan, and red Wisconsin, we are very, 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 very early in the count there. However, if you look at this map right now, the name of the game, if you're Joe Biden, is takeaway, because Donald Trump's the incumbent president who won last time. And so we're not done yet. We're not dead yet by any means, but you look at North Carolina, the president's stretching a lead out here, 89%. It's a modest lead, 42,423, about 49.8 to 49. Joe Biden had a lead early on. Donald
But
Trump's
yeah,
election day surge.
if you're on
Puts it
either
back in
side,
the
you know,
holding.
just,
We'll watch that.
you know,
So
be
play it out.
aware that,
Republicans
you know, the
feel good about
Electoral
that.
College
Coming
is
down to Florida
unpredictable.
now,
Like,
and you look
last
at
time in the
5.6
election,
million for president,
you know,
5.2.
Clinton
Higher turnout in
won
Florida, very
the
competitive
popular
race.
vote,
Again, we have to wait.
but
We're
she
gonna
lost the
concentrate, see where
election
Democrats are not happy,
because, you know,
particularly
she
down here in Miami-Dade,
didn't get
53%.
the
You
right
normally
amount of
look,
votes.
you
So
53, 46, you think that's great,
you gotta be
but that's way below what
careful.
it was
Like,
4 years
oh,
ago.
the
So you're
states are
looking at
all
this map
red, so
here.
Trump might
Plus side
win.
for the
That's
Democrats
not,
is out here in
you know,
Arizona,
always the
where Joe
case.
Biden
So
right now,
we gotta see.
75% of the vote, 54 if you round up to 45. That's a big shift from 4 years ago when the president won at 49, 45, a 4-point race.
We gotta
You
see,
see the president,
so.
Joe Biden, the Democrat, above 50 there. So let's just put this into context. Number one, this was the name of the game in 2016. We're not done. We're not done. We're not done. Some of these states could go on into tomorrow. But as you look at this map, Many Democrats say it does raise the scenario many of them are worried about. An hour or two from now, is the president going to come out and say, I win, if he's still leading in those states? We're not done. That's not how we count. These states will decide who wins their elections, and we have a lot of votes to count. But the question is, the name of the game, well, if I'm going to switch maps here, is this is where we are right now, 94 to 72. There are no surprises on this map so far. Everything we see filled in is the way we thought it would go coming into the night. There are also, though, if you think about out here, where we haven't counted votes yet because it's still early in the night, people are still voting.
But
we don't
yeah,
have any
there's
surprises
a
that way, if you will. Nevada was the
it's
one
just
state
crazy
that
like how
made a run.
election,
We'll
you
see.
know,
But
time
we
is
expect
for
that to
like
stay
a whole
Democrat,
bunch of
which is why
people,
things get
especially in
interesting
this
now. Again,
country. A
we
lot
haven't
of
called some of
people,
the
they
East Coast
just,
states, but this
you
is the
know, they
calculation that
just
goes to the campaign
love
world.
this time of
This is
year,
where Donald Trump
and
started.
you know,
Joe Biden has
it's
to look
definitely
this fast and say,
interesting. You know,
what do I
Trump is
take away
definitely
to get him below
entertaining,
270
and
to get me to 270?
it's just
So,
crazy how
Joe
like
Biden
it is
wanted
when
Florida.
it comes to the
Not yet.
election.
We'll
So
see. We'll keep counting. It doesn't look that way. Wanted North Carolina. Donald Trump has a lead right now. We'll see. We'll get to the finish line. Georgia, we got a lot of votes out. The Democrats had these targets of opportunity. Can we get these states that are? Can we get a surge? But watch Georgia. We're still missing a lot of Democratic votes. Texas is filling in red again. We haven't called it. We have a ways to go, but it's filling
Texas
in red
is
right now.
always
So,
red
so
though.
far, you look like you're getting that right. We're not done. We're not done in Arizona yet either. But as you project it out, so okay, now you got the president at 295. If you're not going to get Ohio, haven't called it yet, we're waiting. It's a possibility, some votes out, North Carolina or Florida, where do you go? Well, then we come back. Number one, let's just assume for the sake of argument, Joe Biden gets the congressional district here. Hard to see. If there is a Trump election day surge, the president went out here and did a rally, but the Democrats are pretty confident they're going to pick up the one in the 2nd district of Nebraska. So let's do that for the hypothetical. We'll watch as it plays out. Then you're at 293 to 245. So then we come down to where we ended 4 years ago. Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, right? And so Joe Biden, 1, 2, gets you to the finish line. You don't absolutely need Pennsylvania. If you win Maine's 2nd congressional district, if you win Nebraska's 2nd congressional district, and you hold Arizona, you can do it without Florida, without Georgia, without North Carolina, without Ohio, and without Pennsylvania. But you have to win these two, right? If you can win this as well, then it's game over. We've always known if Joe Biden could rebuild the blue wall, forgive me, Donald Trump would pay for it. The question is, can he make it happen when right now, if you look over here, again, we're early. This is where Democrats get nervous because they remember 2016. We cannot
How you doing,
emphasize
Sean?
enough. We're nowhere close to the finish line in any of those states. Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan. We need to count
I
those,
just
some of those
I
counts
just
will
hope
take
that
until
like,
tomorrow. But
you know,
we talked
people
earlier about
just,
Joe Biden having the more menu
you know,
options.
stay
Some of those menu
accord
options
when it
appear
comes
to
to
be
whoever's
closing. We're not done yet,
president, you know.
but that we still have,
Like,
we
the
can't
one
take
thing
Florida
that
away.
people gotta
Still right
realize
over
is
there.
that it's
North
not the end of the
Carolina,
world.
we'll
It's
see on
not
Georgia.
like
Joe
any.
Biden had many menu options coming
I'm doing
tonight.
good, Sean.
That list is narrowing.
A lot of people, they just gotta
Checking
realize,
David
you know,
Shelley and taking
that
very
it's not
close
the end of
look
the
at
world,
vote
you
in
know.
Pennsylvania right now. What do you see?
So,
Yeah, just exactly what John was talking about. I know it's red on the map right now, but we gotta make sure we count the votes here. So what you see is Donald Trump leading Joe Biden
in Pennsylvania.
with 32% of the vote in right now. Let's look at what we know about the early vote. Of that vote that's in, only 18% of it currently is early vote. And we know that
And the
Joe
thing
Biden
is right now
doing
is that like
much
what they're
better
talking
in the
about
early
is
vote.
that there's
We
some
expect that
states
18%
right now,
to go all the way up to
you know, that has a
45%.
lot of
So
early
there's
vote,
a ton
and
more
early
votes
vote right
still,
now is
to be
more
counted
of
here, and that could benefit,
Democrat
Joe
than
Biden in
Republican,
Pennsylvania.
and
We
then
just
the
have to
people
wait
that
to
went out
see,
to the polls,
that early
they're more
absentee mail
Republican
vote,
than
come in
Democrat.
and be
So they're
counted.
trying to add all this
Very
stuff in.
interesting. We're watching
And
all
a
these
lot of
states.
people are
This
freaking
is
out a little
a
bit
night like none
because
because of all
Trump,
the
you
early
see
voting,
red,
a
red,
record
red,
number of
red,
early
red
voting
in
that
all
we've
these
seen in some
states,
states
and
making it a lot
you know
harder to
it's
count
still
that.
early.
Right.
That's the
Look,
thing.
battleground
So
states are always complicated to begin
we'll
with.
see.
Remember Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin 4 years ago. Remember Florida 4 years ago. Even North Carolina for a while we were looking at
But
it.
Florida
So they're always
look like it's
complicated
going
anyway. They're all
to
the more
be
complicated this
Trump,
time. And all the more difficult,
which I'm not
especially for
surprised
purposes
at
who
because
who want
you
to
know
win,
he took that
right? And
state
so let's just
4
talk
years
about
ago.
okay, what we're
So
talking about. We come down here. Philadelphia County, Philadelphia City, and the counties around it. This is by far, it's 12% or more, depending on turnout of the vote in Pennsylvania. 22%. So when you
So there's a lot of like things that, you know, it's unpredictable. You know, that's the thing about these elections. I remember the last time Clinton was leading, like for example, the Democrats thought they were going to get Florida, then Trump flipped that state. There was a couple of states that Trump flipped, and he was able to win. So you never know. You gotta always, 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 always pay attention when it comes to these elections, because anything could happen. So
50 to 48, that's about the same, more or less. But again, 12% there, 16% of the estimated vote here. Chester County, 25%.
all right, GTG, appreciate you.
So this is where the overwhelming bulk of
But
the votes,
yeah,
the way
so
it gets started in Pennsylvania,
please,
Philadelphia,
people,
and the suburbs all around
don't
it
be
on
rioting,
Twitter,
don't be
and we don't
looting.
have
You
many
know,
of
it's
those
not
still
worth
in the
your
single
life.
digits or the early teens.
You
Got a
know,
long way to go. And so then you come over
it's
to
not
the
worth your
Philadelphia
life. It
state.
really
Again,
isn't.
52% here, Harrisburg. The
'Cause
president, we know.
it's
We know
just
the president is going to
crazy.
run it up
Like,
in places
you
like
know,
this.
there's
You
a
get these
plenty
counties
of
here,
elections where, you know,
95%,
people don't get what they
the voting
want.
here, the president has
You
70,
know, so
68%, the president has
please
82.
just,
Not a lot of people live here, but again, this is how the president
what
does
do,
it. In the
what does
smaller, more rural
GTG
counties,
mean?
he runs it up big. So the challenge
I'm not
again
sure
is,
what
we talked
GTG
about Joe Biden
means.
not leading in Ohio right now, but more competitive than Hillary Clinton. Is can he be more competitive
Let's see.
in places like Washington County? Right
Oh,
now,
got to go.
29, one that a lot of people were looking at the Trump rally here just the other day.
Yeah,
Westmoreland County,
it says gotta go.
28% and 62, 63,
But
36,
appreciate you,
if you round
Sean,
it up,
joining the stream.
64 to 33. It's pretty close. We'll see Biden maybe a little bit higher.
I'm just chilling right now,
4 years ago, that
playing
country
my game and stuff like that. So
We'll watch
just
alligators
sitting
go
back,
all
you
the
know,
way.
relaxing, waiting for
We have a lot more coming up right after this.
everything. But yeah, so
I found the rest.
Perfect.
I'm just like,
Is everything ready?
it's just crazy,
Get the
but
blankets.
and bye, good night. Okay. Let me get something real quick.
I see what's possible. Instead of what's here. Others see cracked concrete, run-down quarters. I see a way to bring pride back to the community. That's why I made Project Backboard and a site with GoDaddy. How will you make your mark? Make the world you want.
They vanished into thin air.
Just please bring her home.
How can this little boy be just gone?
Real Life Nightmare, new season, Sunday at 10. On HLN.
From deep dives to daily briefs, CNN Politics Podcasts have you covered. The Axe Files, Politically Sound, CNN Political Briefing, and more. Listen on CNN.com/podcasts.
We want to connect with you directly to provide information and resources to show our commitment to serve our patients.
All right, I'm back.
While you watch this historic night unfold, log on to CNN.com.
But yeah,
The Road to 270, Election 101, results that matter to you, my election, and
let me look at this chart real quick. Let me try to find a chart
this is
for the
news from CNN than any other news source.
election. Okay, so now there's an update. So basically what's going on right now is that the presidential race tightened up. It's 98, 95 right now.
CNN Politics
So
Podcasts have you covered. The Axe Files.
it's 98, 95 right now. So
We have some more projections right now. Let's check in New Hampshire. CNN projects that
So
Joe
New
Biden will
Hampshire,
win the state
Joe
of New
Biden
Hampshire.
have won.
Will win its 4 electoral votes. Biden wins in New Hampshire. There are several states now where CNN projects that Trump is winning 4 states.
Trump
specifically.
wins
CNN
Louisiana,
projects that Trump will win
Kansas.
in Louisiana. He beats Biden in Louisiana, wins 8 electoral votes in Louisiana. CNN projects Donald Trump will win in Kansas.
Donald Trump wins
Leads
in
Biden
Kansas.
6 electoral votes there. Another 6 electoral votes in
Donald
Utah.
Trump wins in Utah.
Utah, that's CNN projection. And another 5 electoral votes
And
in Nebraska.
Donald Trump wins in Nebraska.
3 out of the 5 electoral votes in Nebraska. 2 of them are still based on
So it's 98-95 right now for the presidential race.
Right now.
So
Very close. Look at this. Biden has 98 electoral college votes. Trump has 95. You need 270 to win the presidency. 98 to 95. Look at how close it is right now. Actually, we have a key race alert right now. Let's check in some of the numbers. Coming in from Michigan, 37% of the vote is in. Trump still maintains at
Trump is still leading in Michigan so far. So we'll see. 54-43 of the vote. Pennsylvania, Trump is still winning.
Trump has a 236,000 vote lead in Pennsylvania, 54.3% to 44.3%. 37% of the vote is in Wisconsin.
Wisconsin is close.
25,000 vote lead for Trump over Biden. 50.1%.
Wisconsin is close. It's 50-48. So
Georgia, 58% of the
Georgia, Trump is still winning.
Of 387,000 votes, 55.7%.
You're from Michigan?
3.1% in those states.
Well, your state is a key battleground state.
Arizona, right now, 75% of the vote is in. Biden
Arizona, Biden is still winning.
208,000 vote lead over Trump. 53.7%.
Let me see how many electoral votes California has.
37% of the vote is in. Biden there has looks like a pretty comfortable nearly 300,000.
Because California is a relative blue state, so let's see.
In Iowa right now, a quarter of the vote is in. Biden has a 76,000 vote lead over Trump, 57.4% to 41%.
How many electoral votes California have? I know it's a high amount. I think it's like 50 something.
No surprises at all so far. 98 for Biden, 95 for Trump.
And so now
Yeah, they got 55, and you know, California is relatively a blue state most of the time. I never remember them, you know, voting Democrat.
The Trump campaign hoped to flip New Hampshire. That hasn't happened. There's nothing on here just yet. The Biden campaign hoped to flip. These were all pretty reliably red states.
I remember 4 years ago, you know, I went to sleep.
The question is, will there be any surprises?
And next thing you know,
At the moment, you're looking at this map.
Trump won, and I just remember that day like it was yesterday. A lot of people, they were like so shocked. It was like a shocked feeling, and that just made me think, like, you know, you never know when it comes to these elections what's going to happen, you know. So you always gotta just be optimistic when it comes to these elections, because you never know, you know.
Election day vote gets counted. Republicans come back. We saw it here. We saw it here. The question is, does it hold up? We're not done yet. Joe Biden thought it might be possible.
They keep on saying we're not done yet. Everybody's nervous right now.
This is a statement election. Again, we're not done with Texas yet. We're still counting votes there. But we don't see it yet. So then you're back to, okay, if there's not a big map-changing, game-changing election, what does it come down to?
Did you fall asleep on stream? No, I wasn't streaming at the time. You know,
Pennsylvania, Michigan,
it was before I started YouTube.
So right now.
All right, so the Senate. So far in the Senate, it's 40-40. Whoever gets to 50 controls the Senate. So we'll see what happens there. The House of Representatives, I heard that it's going to go Democrat again. So the House and wait a second. The House is taken over by the Republicans so far. So watch out for that.
What's going on in Michigan right now? What do you see?
This is the state of play in Michigan. You see Donald Trump's lead here, 1.1 million to Joe Biden's 907,000.
All right, so Anime Lord.
Estimated vote is
so far Trump is winning in Michigan. So
about the early vote, okay? Of that 37% that's in, 17% of that current vote is early vote. We expect the share of the early vote to go up. We expect at the end of the night 55% of the overall vote in Michigan to be early vote. And we know that Joe Biden is doing much better in the early vote. We also know we have almost no early vote in Wayne County, Detroit, big Democratic area. Very, very little early vote in Macomb, no early vote at all in Kent. Those two have been sort of
So,
battleground
we'll see.
counties. So as that share of the early vote goes up,
Let me
the
get
Biden
something
campaign is
to drink
hoping,
real quick. I'll
he
be
can start to have room here to
like
overtake
2 seconds.
that lead that Donald Trump currently holds in Michigan.
Very interesting indeed. John, let's take a closer look at Michigan right now. That's a key battleground state. Trump won it very narrowly 4 years ago. Democrats are hoping to win it this time.
But let me start with your point. Trump won it very narrowly 4 years ago.
All right, I'm back.
Right there. Even if the president wins Michigan, we have no expectation it would be by such a large margin. That's why, again, you look at certain things and you realize this is an election.
Outside of the election, you
so
know,
we have to be careful as we go. If you're the Republicans,
you know, no matter who is president, you know, keep on striving for your dreams, keep striving for your, you know, for your life, and just, you know, continue to be, you know, motivational, you know, because no matter who's president, you can't just base that your life off of who's president or not. You know, you gotta just look at it and just go out there and, you know, attack life the same. You know, you can't be in a situation where, oh, this person's president, so they're going to do this and that. You know, like, that's just how the circle of life goes. So,
let's move up to Oakland County again.
But yeah, we'll see what happens. It's still early. Let me see if I can find,
Just go back and look at it here again. We think turnout
so I can do a prediction, so I can see what states to look at and what states not to look at. So, well, a lot of people are looking at Michigan, Pennsylvania, all the key battleground states. So we're going to see what happens. We're going to see how everything is, and if Trump wins those type of states, then it's going to be interesting. So the polls close in 13 minutes, so we're going to see the western states, how it is. California, like I said before, is relatively a blue state, so that's an advantage for the Democrats, and Texas is traditionally a red state. So basically, when it comes to everything, it comes down to the battleground states, most likely, because Texas and California are two states that are relatively, one is red, one is blue. So we're going to see. We're going to see what happens. So Arizona, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin. We're going to see what's going to happen. Those are the key states, and whoever wins those states most likely will win the election. So we're going to see.
Throughout the night, that bodes well for the president in Michigan, but we have a long way to go. And it's the same story when you shift over here to Wisconsin, about 40% in. But I just want to come down to look at the major.
Anything could happen at any time, so that's why people gotta just, you know, be patient, get all the votes in, get all the ballots in.
We got some more projections right now. All right, let's take a look at this. CNN projects that Joe Biden will win the state of Illinois, will win 20 electoral votes.
Joe Biden wins the state of Illinois, so that's big, 20 electoral votes. In Missouri, Donald Trump wins, so that's 10 electoral votes. That's a big key. So far, Biden's up 118 to 105. So this is a big part of the election, a big part. So
to the west right now, we're counting down to 11 p.m. Eastern, and the biggest electoral prize of the night. We're talking about California. The polls are about to close there, as well as in Idaho, Oregon, and Washington State. Those states have 78 electoral votes of the 270 needed to win. Joe Biden is counting on blue California to push him closer to 270. Let's get a key race alert right now.
Key race alert. So Trump is winning in Michigan so far. So that's a big swing state. It got 16 electoral votes.
54.7% to 43.4%.
They still got a lot of votes to count. They got 38% of votes to count. President Trump is winning in Pennsylvania. There's 37% of votes tallied so far. So that's a big thing. Wisconsin, it's a close race. It's a really tight race at 40% right now. So big state, 10 electoral votes. Georgia, Trump is winning in that one. But my thing is that California should ease everything for the Democrats. So we'll
Let's take
see.
a look at some more states. We're getting some more key race alerts.
Arizona
Arizona right now, 75%
is
of
so
the vote
far
is in.
Joe Biden's
Biden
winning
has a
that state.
208,000 vote lead over Trump in Arizona, 53.7% to 45%. In Minnesota, 38%
Minnesota.
of the vote is in. Biden seems
Biden
to have a
is
pretty
winning in
comfortable
Minnesota so
290,
far.
almost 291,000 vote lead over Trump in Minnesota. In Iowa right now, 42% of the
Iowa,
vote
Biden
in.
is winning in
Biden has a
Iowa.
12,000 vote lead over Trump, 56.4% to 41.8%. Let's walk over, as we like to do, John King at the Magic Wall. We're watching these states. You're looking at counties over there, and you see what's going on. But go ahead, tell us what's on.
I was just doing some matching up to try to see where the president's overperforming, where he's underperforming, looking at different places. It's early, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin.
But President Trump, you know, he's been like trying to, you know, get some people to vote for him in these key swing states, and the swing states are very, very important because, you know, they got a lot of electoral votes, they got a lot of like, you know, they got a lot of things that people are looking for, you know, like my state, for example, Maryland. Not many people are going to be focused on Maryland because Maryland doesn't have that many electoral votes. You know, Arizona is a swing state. Ohio is a swing state. Pennsylvania is a swing state, and that's just the base key of the election. So
you just see what happens when you win the big ones. You see how
when he
quickly the map
wins,
changes. So that's what's
there's
important.
a projection right now. Let me
If the
look
president
at
holds
it.
that one as well, that gets you up. And if the president holds North Carolina, you start moving up, right? The bigger states, the double digits, if you will, big double digits here, 30 plus, 20 plus, 15. You know, you move it, then you're just moving up the math when you do the big ones. So that's what they're looking at in the Trump campaign right now. If we hold Texas, and they think they will, we hold Florida, they think they will. We're not done. We're not done. That's just what they think. North Carolina, they've pulled ahead. It's close. We have to count them still. Same with Ohio. We're still counting votes, but as you see that happen, you see the election day surge pull you ahead, you think it's going to continue. It's not guaranteed, but that's what they think. And you know what? You wouldn't get a lot of pushback in the Biden campaign. They're still hoping the votes come back, but as you start looking at the map now, you start thinking, okay, this is a more traditional map, which again gets us back to where we began or where we ended 4 years ago. Whoa, how did I do that? That was good. You do the double sometimes. It gets you. There you go. Pennsylvania, Michigan,
yeah.
Wisconsin.
Thank you guys for joining the stream. I really appreciate it. Thank you for coming in and, you know, watching the election with me. You know, I'm just chilling, playing my game and chatting with y'all. You know, I feel like this is a good time to chat. Where are you from and how your state doing? I'm from Maryland, so you know my state. I think Joe Biden won my state, if I'm not mistaken. So they're already done in Maryland.
We
So
believe so far the president's holding down here, which gets you back again. Arizona would get Joe Biden, plus the Clinton states. Arizona gets Joe Biden to 243. Well, then how do you get to 270, right? You know, could get one here if you carry Maine, but then you need more. So if that gets you to 244, let's just say for the sake of argument, you get one of these. We're still waiting on 2 of those districts there. Let's just say you get one of them, right? So then you're looking here at 245. So what do you need, right? Do the math. You need 25. That would get you knocking on the door because that's 20, right? This is the state of these 3 states in the blue wall. That's the one the Trump campaign feels more confident about. That would be enough.
yeah,
Michigan
so
and Wisconsin.
I
Get
voted
Joe Biden to
early.
271. If he got these 2 congressional districts plus Arizona, the math gets interesting. If the president can hold, bring it out here. Sorry, you know I got to fill them all in, but that's okay. Just fill them all in and come back. President does that. You think one congressional district could decide an American presidential election? Doesn't happen that often, but it is possible. This is where, again, if the possibilities, the menu at the beginning of the night, maybe we get Florida. In a dream world, we get Texas. Maybe Ohio's competitive. We think we can get North Carolina.
In the dream
At the
world,
moment,
they're
none
not
of
going to
that
get
is there.
Texas.
We're not done. It's possible it comes back. At the moment, none of that is there. So now your numbers crunchers are getting into the tougher math, the more difficult math. And the different
Texas never
scenarios.
vote
Trust me,
Democrat.
They're calling into that congressional
I don't
district.
think so.
They're calling into that congressional district,
So.
and they're calling in a fury into these because now we're into tense time in both campaigns.
And
Okay,
those
so
3
5
states,
minutes
so-called
until the
blue wall
next
states,
polls close.
Pennsylvania,
So
Michigan, and Wisconsin. You know, there's still plenty of outstanding votes.
Plenty of votes. And again, we're going to say this repeatedly. and some people at home might not like that we say it repeatedly. And
A lot of the early vote is outstanding too, where Democrats will do well.
it is, which is why as I come back over here, as you're watching the map throughout the night, in any election, again, we are 10:55. In any presidential election that's close, we're just getting started. We are just getting started. That would be the case 4 years ago, 2004, pick your close election. That's the case. This year's even more different because of the 3 different ways of voting and the different ways.
I'm going to keep on checking the House in the Senate. Both is very important because, you know, they vote really, you know, the House is for Democrats and the Senate is for Republicans. So we're going to see. We're going to see. There's going to be a lot of stuff happening. You know, it's not over right now, but we're going to continue to look at it and see what's going on. So,
While you watch this historic night unfold, log on to CNN.com.
Move out here, Chester County. This is where most of the votes are in Pennsylvania. Philadelphia and the suburbs that surround it, 30%. They just have a long way to go. And we know, David Chalian told us earlier, a lot of the votes that are missing are the early votes, which we believe are disproportionately Democrat.
All right, so I got this thing up.
Even if we were just waiting for all the votes counted today, what we have from this part of the state is so low that you just can't make conclusions.
So basically, it's showing all the districts in each state.
You know, the map looks at first glance to Republicans, but we're just nowhere near the finish line. Nor are we in Michigan. 39% of the estimate, 54-43. You think that's a big number? If you remember how close this was 4 years ago, 10,000 votes, right? 10,000 votes decided this state 4 years ago. So it is just unrealistic. Even if the president's having a very good night, it's unrealistic that he's going to win Michigan by 238,000 votes. If he wins Michigan again, maybe it's by more than 10,000 votes, but it's not going to be by 238,000 votes. We just know
I'm trying
that.
to get this thing
you see
up.
that number,
All
that's
right.
when you know this is the anomaly of 2020 and how we count votes, and we need to be patient.
Let's take a look at Arizona.
Let's go out west, because this would be, so far, this would be the flip. This would be a change. We're up to 75%, 208,000 vote lead, and some change there. Again, 54% to 45%. If you go back, not since Bill Clinton as a Democrat won this state, and in 2016, not a huge win by any means. This is why the Democrats wanted to compete this year. Arizona is trending demographically, and the Democrats think this year, demographics plus the suburban revolt is what gets you there. 1.2 million votes won it 4 years ago. If you come up here now, Joe Biden already has that, and we're still counting votes there. Again, turnout up across America in this election. That looks good. That doesn't mean we're done. We have to count them. Let's just look at Maricopa County, 77%. If this holds up, if the trend lines hold up, this is where 60% plus of your votes are. If you keep a 10-point margin in Maricopa County, with high turnout like this, you're going to win
So
the state
Florida
of Arizona.
is a big state.
As we go through the
Georgia
race to
is a
270,
decent
and
state.
you're Joe Biden,
President,
Donald Trump had 306
North
last time.
Carolina so
Needs to take
far
away.
is
It's simple. Just do the
interesting.
subtraction. And when you get
Biden
them,
and
Arizona would be
Virginia,
a
that's
start.
going to be a big
Important start.
thing.
It's protection, if you will.
Pennsylvania is a
It's
big state.
safety blanket.
Ohio is a
That's
big
it.
state.
That's the name of the game. Was 4 years ago. and it's
Wisconsin
it's
is a
about
big
to be
state.
For the rest of tonight and into tomorrow. That's the guess. That's the guess.
Michigan is a
So
decent
just come back
state.
out again.
So
I just
there's a
wanna-
lot of
just wanna
states
get
out
because
there
getting a lot of
that are
texts
big.
and emails from Republicans and Democrats saying, "Whoa, what's happening in Virginia?" Again, 153,000 votes ahead, 52 to 46.
Out
That's
west,
actually a smaller lead than we saw earlier
not
tonight. I
many,
just wanna
like
keep
not
getting
much
here.
out there
And we're
that's
still
like
waiting.
very,
It's not
very
that
big,
hop
except
in
for
the car, drive
Arizona
over
and
there, be there in 15
California.
minutes.
Texas
But
is
Fairfax County,
38,
Virginia, there's
so
something
that's
going
why
on.
Trump
In
got to
Fairfax County,
win
Virginia,
like
we only have
certain
28%
states
of
to
the
make
vote.
up
It's been that way for a long
for
time.
California.
This is a giant basket of Democratic votes. If you follow governor's races, if you follow Mark Warner's Senate campaign a couple of years ago, that's the way it's gone. All of a sudden, a big dump of votes come in, but we're going to keep watching that because it's interesting. Just want to check down here in North Carolina again. 50 to 49 when you round up, 94% in, 69,000 votes. Again, Republicans feel good about this, but we'll keep counting and see what happens in North Carolina. One more time, just want to look at normally the closest of all battlegrounds, 94% in Florida, 51-47 there.
Who do you want to
Florida.
win?
Again,
I personally don't really
there's a lot of
care,
red, including in
to
places
be
where the Biden
honest.
campaign
You
was
know,
hopeful it could turn blue.
I'm not really
See, Iowa's
like
blue
a
right
big
now.
politics
Not sure
guy.
if that will last. It's competitive, though.
So
Fun one to watch
whoever
for most of
wins,
the
it's
night.
not a big deal to
Still a
me.
lot of math to do, Wolf. A lot of anxiety
You know?
in both campaigns
So
right now.
Yeah,
that's
there-
just in my
there's on both
opinion.
sides,
You know, I know
voting is
other
about-
people, they got their
and four
different
states out west,
opinions.
the biggest
So
prize of all, we're talking about California. It has 55 of the 78 electoral votes at stake this hour. All right, we have some projections right now. CNN projects that Joe
All right,
Biden
so
will
Joe
win the state of
Biden
California. That's the biggest prize in the
predictably
Electoral College.
wins
55
California. So
electoral
Joe
votes.
Biden wins
Biden will win
California.
California, beats Trump in California. CNN also projects that Biden will win
Oops.
in Washington State. CNN also projects Biden will win in the state of Oregon. 7 electoral votes there. Biden wins in Oregon right now. One projection for Donald Trump right now. CNN projects that Donald Trump will win the state of Wyoming. That's 3 electoral votes. In Idaho, too early to call. 4 electoral votes in Idaho. We cannot make a projection there. Let's take a look at the Electoral College map. See where it stands right now. Right now, Biden has a wide lead. He has 192 Electoral College votes. Trump has 108. 192 to 108. Let's get a key race alert in some of the battleground states where things stand. Let's
Stop.
Pennsylvania, 41% of the estimated vote is now in. Trump has seemingly a pretty comfortable 444,000 vote lead over Biden, 56.8% to 41.5%. In Michigan right now, 39% of the estimated vote is in. Trump has a significant lead there right now as well, 239,000 vote, but it's relatively early. 39% of the estimated vote is in, and the early vote, which skews Democratic, is not yet in. In Wisconsin, 42% of the vote is in. Look at how close it is. Trump has a 24,000, 25,000 vote lead over Biden, 50% to 48.3%, 10 electoral votes in Wisconsin. In Arizona,
who do I want to win?
75% of the vote is in, and Biden has a significant lead. In Arizona, 208,000 vote
Like I said
over
before,
Trump,
I don't care who wins.
45%,
You know,
electoral votes
I just want the best for the country, you know. So whoever wins, I just hope that they, you know, make the right decision. So
108 lead in the all-important Electoral College battle.
And the West Coast, which again, when I started doing this many years ago, this was competitive territory. Not anymore. Washington, Oregon, California, locks for the Democrats in presidential politics, and that's those are great building blocks, right? They're not competitive anymore. The only reason Republicans go to California now is to raise money. 192 to 108. So now the question is,
yeah,
you need
me
to get
too.
to 270.
Yeah.
This is the hard part.
I'm not really big on
hate to say it this
politics,
way, but it's easy
you know,
for a Democrat to get to 192. It's just easy given the, you know Illinois, you know New York, you know California, you know Washington, Oregon are going to be on your side. So the question is, working off this map, let's work, since you're now at 192, you're trying to get there. How do you get there working off this map? Well, that's a Clinton state, right? Trump campaign's trying to flip it, but let's, for the sake of argument, assume it stays Democratic. We'll watch and we'll count as we go. That was a Trump state. Joe Biden is leading right now there. If it holds that way, out here, look at this, Colorado, New Mexico, the West Coast will be good to the Democrats in the Southwest if this happens. So that would get you to 209. So then you come this way, you're looking at the map, right? Where are the Clinton states? That was a Clinton state, right? So you think that's going to happen for you. And you keep looking at the map here, Virginia, which is really interesting right now. It is still red. You just assume, and we'll see if it's a change. If it's that kind of a night, it's that kind of a night. But you assume that one's going to come back into the fold, and they're just waiting for Democratic votes to come in. They're having a problem in the county or something. That gets you there. Then you come up to Maine.
is Virginia going to turn
You
blue?
assume, if you're the Biden campaign, you're going to win the whole thing. We need to see this. Maine does it by congressional district. There's one of them that President Trump carried 4 years ago. The Democrats believe they're going to carry that state. They believed a few other things about tonight, so we'll see what happens as we go through. But let's, for the sake of argument, give it to them. So then you're up to 236, right? Maybe they get one in Nebraska. Let's just leave that off the table right now. Let's just wait and see how you play. So you're at 236, right? There's 246. That's 262. That's 262. So you're looking at this map, and where do I get it, right? Where do I get it? Well, that's the easiest one, and we still don't have, I didn't get Rhode Island on this map, so let me come in here. There we go. So you get Rhode Island. That would get you 286, but that's with Pennsylvania. That's with Pennsylvania. You bring Pennsylvania back off the map, you're at 266. This is where you get close here, right? This is where you get close here. We're going to keep going out to the west, and we do that. That gets you to 270. So could it be, in a race against Donald Trump, wouldn't it be something if Barack Obama's birth state is the one that puts you over the top? That would be interesting if you go that way there. But so you have Hawaii, you have Nevada and Colorado. We're going to watch. So this is interesting. So you don't need Pennsylvania if you're Joe Biden now, but now you're in this different mood in Biden headquarters. You came into the night thinking you had all this great opportunity. Maybe some of these will come back. But if they don't, you're thinking, okay, we better win that congressional district. We absolutely better win that one. And then we're going to fight it out up in here. And again, if you get Pennsylvania, then stop the conversation. But we might be a couple days on this one. If you don't get Pennsylvania, you're in a scratch and claw mode now, as opposed to early in the night where you thought you might have had a buffet of opportunities.
Let's take a closer look at Arizona and Pennsylvania.
Let me do that and cross over again. We come back in here. Now let's start in Arizona. We'll go west to east this time.
So
and again, this one has held up pretty consistently, but we've also been waiting.
a lot of
Sometimes you get
predictable
votes in
like
spurts.
things when it
Sometimes
comes
you
to these
have long
states. You know,
pauses. We're
the
at 75%
traditional
right
states
now.
that
That's
turn
8 points, 9
red or
points if you
blue
round up right there.
is,
That's a pretty
you know,
healthy
doing
lead.
what
Most
they're
of it's coming
doing.
from
So
here. In terms of the
the
vote
thing
count,
is that
see, just in Maricopa County, Joe Biden approaching 800,000 votes.
the
10
thing
point,
is
almost
that
just shy of a 10
who
point
is
race.
going
In
to
Maricopa
win
County,
these
that's
key swing
60%
states?
of
That's the
vote
biggest
state.
thing.
Then you come down to Pima
And
County,
whoever
that's another
wins those
15% of
states
it. And again, that's not
are
even
going to
close.
win the
And
election.
every
So it's still
indication here
early.
is we still have votes to count, but every indication here is that Arizona is going to flip to blue, and that makes you happy in the Biden campaign. So then you come back this way a little
If
bit.
you don't
I just want to check in
stop,
on Virginia again, just to see. We're up to 58%. It is getting closer, but still, we're waiting. And here's your anomaly. Fairfax has been at 28% for a long time. I'll check in with our decision team and our desk team in a little bit to see where that is. Some of these other places, Loudoun County, Joe Biden holding that there. Come over Fairfax County, we're waiting. Northern Virginia, Arlington. So it's Fairfax. Fairfax is the biggest basket of Democratic votes we're missing. I just want to check down here in Southeast Virginia. See Chesapeake area here. 60% of the vote in there. So we're missing some votes in Democratic areas that could flip that. But if you're in the Biden campaign, you're getting a little bit nervous about that, even though your data and your math tell you you should be okay. But at this point of the night, you'd like it to change. And again, we're just waiting on these three. And this is the patience.
It'll take some time, and all three of those are. We got a key race alert right now. I want to go to Nebraska right now, the second congressional district. There, 57% of the vote is in. Biden is ahead by some 16,000 votes, 53.4% to 44.8% for Trump. John, this is one electoral vote potentially in Nebraska if Biden can hold on.
So let me come back over here if Biden can hold on. So we're waiting. Nebraska and Maine do their congressional votes by, let me pull it out like this. Nebraska and Maine do their votes by congressional district, their electoral college votes. So again, especially now, if you're in the Biden campaign and you're thinking, we might not get Florida, we might not get Georgia, we might not get North Carolina. Looks like our dreams of Texas are not going to happen this year. Closer, but close doesn't count. It doesn't get you the electoral votes. If you're at this point in the campaign where normally you think, well, what's one? Guess what? One can matter. And so, again, in this scenario, this is a scenario on the board here, so let me just take these away, right? You know, if you can hold this, you're moving closer, right?
Stop
you're
taking
moving
it
closer.
out.
That's assuming Virginia flips back, and that's assuming you hold Arizona and Nevada stays. So these are just, that would be a change. Donald Trump carried that. That would be a change. Trump carried that. But that's what you're looking to do. Trump had 306 last time. If you're Biden, you have to subtract from that to get him down below 270. That's one, and that's progress, but these are the big ones. These are the big ones. Again, if you're in the tight part of the campaign, if you think you're going to have that close of a race, and it sure looks like we are, then, you know, everyone counts. And so this includes the main one up here. So the math gets really interesting. And again, if you can do this, you know, just forget about it. Because if you're doing this, you're most likely doing that, and you're probably doing that. We always knew. Joe Biden said, a lot of Democrats said, you know, focus on the Sun Belt. Joe Biden said, I'm going to start here, and then maybe I'll expand. If he can do this, we're going to spend a lot of time, and these ones may take, some of them again, we may be into tomorrow and beyond. At the moment, we don't know that. At the moment, these are to be decided, and that
What's going on with you?
You know, and again, if you come at this from a Republican perspective, I did Joe Biden's math to get him up. Donald Trump's leading here. He's leading here. He's leading here. We expect him to win here. That's his. This one's interesting. We expect him to get this.
But yeah, I'm about to head out. So thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed the stream, let me know with a like and a comment down below. I gotta calm this guy down. So thank you guys for watching, and see you guys later. Peace.
Somewhere